All right, welcome back everyone. If you truly want to speak Mandarin clearly and confidently, there's one system that you absolutely have to master. It's not about memorizing characters, it's not about complex grammar, not yet. It's about the very sounds of the language. Today we're going to do a deep dive into Pinyin. Think of it as the foundational blueprint for every single sound in Mandarin. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with the official definition. What exactly is Pinyin? Well, it's the standardized system for writing Mandarin sounds using the alphabet we all know and use. But here's what's so important to get right from the start. This is not just some kind of training wheel for learners that you discard later. No way. This is the standard system that native speakers in China use every single day, for texting on their phones, for typing on a computer, and for teaching their own children how to read. It really is the universal key to the language's sound.
Okay, so that's the textbook definition. But for you, as a learner, what is Pinyin really? I want you to think of it as the architectural blueprint for every single sound you will ever make in this language. It's the key that unlocks accurate pronunciation. Without a really solid grasp of this system, speaking clearly and being understood, well, it's pretty much just guesswork. But with it, you have a precise, logical map to every sound you'll ever need to make. And here's where the system shows its beautiful simplicity. Every single syllable in Mandarin, and I mean without a single exception, is built from just two basic parts. It's kind of like Lego. You have a specific set of bricks, right? But by combining them in predictable ways, you can build anything you can imagine. Well, that's Pinyin in a nutshell. So, what are these two Lego bricks? They're called initials and finals. So for the next few minutes, we're going to deconstruct a syllable. We're going to look at each of these parts one by one, and then we're going to put them back together. You'll see, understanding this fundamental distinction is the first major step you can take toward mastering your pronunciation.
So, the first part is the initial, or shengmu. You can think of this as the starting consonant. It's the launch point of the sound. The second part is the final, or yunmu. This is the core vowel sound that comes right after. So, an initial always needs a final to follow it. But a final, well, that's the true heart of the sound. Sometimes, a final can even be a complete syllable all by itself.
Okay, so let's zoom in and really break down that first component, the initial. There are 21 of them in total. And right away, here's the first big warning for all English speakers. Just because a letter looks familiar, you see a B or a D, that does not mean it sounds the same as it does in English. This is really where we have to retrain our brains and our mouths.
So let's look at some of these common groups. Now, M and F, they're easy. They sound just like you'd expect. But the first real challenge is this B and P pair. In English, the difference is voicing, whether you use your vocal cords. In Mandarin, it's all about air, aspiration. I want you to try this with me. Put your hand right in front of your mouth. The pinyin B is unaspirated. That means no puff of air. It's like the B sound in the English word spy. Listen. Bo, bo. See? No air. Now for P. P is a literal explosion of air. It's aspirated. Listen. Po, po. You should feel that puff of air hit your hand. That difference, bo versus po, is the difference between two completely separate words. And this brings us to what is honestly one of the biggest hurdles for English speakers, aspiration. This whole concept, the presence or the absence of that little puff of air, is what truly separates these critical pairs. B and P, D and T, and J and G. We just don't pay attention to it in English, but in Mandarin, it can completely change the meaning of a word. So the key takeaway here is this. Practice B, D, G with zero air and P, T, K with a really strong, sharp puff of air.
Okay, now that we've got a handle on those starting sounds, let's shift our focus to the finals. If the initial is the launch, then the final is the main event. This is what gives the syllable its core vowel character, and it's what carries the tone.
Now, finals come in three main flavors. The most basic are the simple finals. These are just single, pure vowel sounds like A, O, E. Then things get a little more interesting with compound finals. Here, you're actually gliding from one vowel to another within the same breath, like in I, which sounds like the word I, or O, which sounds like O. And finally, we've got the nasal finals. These end with either an N or an eng sound, and you should really feel a vibration in your nose. Listen to the difference here. An, where the tip of your tongue touches the roof of your mouth behind your teeth. An, versus ang, where the back of your tongue goes up and the sound is much more open in your throat. Ang, that nasal resonance is absolutely key.
You know, there's one simple final that trips up almost every single learner, and it's this oo sound.
It just doesn't exist in English. Now, a quick rule of thumb. Whenever you see the letter U written after J, Q, or X, it's always this special U sound. So how do you make it? Try this with me. First, say a long, tense E sound. Really stretch it out. Now, hold your tongue in that exact position. Don't move your tongue at all. And now, just round your lips like you're about to whistle. E, U, U. That's it. That's the sound. Let's try it in a word, nu, which means female.
Excellent. We've looked at the two parts in isolation. We've taken them apart. Now for the real aha moment. Let's put our Lego bricks back together and see just how simple and totally predictable this whole system really is.
Okay, let's build a word. We'll start with our first Lego brick, a nice and easy initial. Just like in English. No tricks here.
Now let's grab our second brick, a final. We'll use ah. And just for practice, we'll add the first tone. You know, that high, flat, sustained tone, so it sounds like ah, ah.
And now, let's just click them together. The initial ma plus the final ah gives us ma. And just like that, we've built a complete, meaningful syllable, ma, which, as you probably know, is the word for mother. This simple formula, initial plus final, is the unbreakable rule for every single sound in Mandarin. That's it.
So, okay, we've gone through the mechanics, but I want to take a step back and talk about why spending this time on Pinyin isn't just some boring academic exercise. Why does this foundation really, truly matter for your progress in this language?
Well, mastering Pinyin unlocks 3 absolutely essential doors for you. First, and most obviously, accurate pronunciation. It's the difference between being understood and just getting a confused look. Second, efficient typing. Whether you're texting a friend on your phone or writing an email on your computer, you will be typing Pinyin to produce Chinese characters. It's how it's done. And finally, and maybe this is the most important one, it grants you total independence. With a good grasp of Pinyin, you can look up any new character in a dictionary and know exactly how to pronounce it, even if you've never heard anyone say it before.
I want to leave you with this thought, because it's so important. Every complex sentence, every beautiful piece of poetry, every single conversation you will ever have in Mandarin rests on this one thing. Pinyin is not a shortcut. It is the fundamental, load-bearing foundation of your entire spoken ability. And believe me, the time you invest here is going to pay off for years and years to come.
So, as we move forward, I want you to stop thinking of Pinyin as just a set of rules you have to memorize. See it for what it truly is, an incredibly powerful tool. You now hold the architectural blueprint for every single sound in the Mandarin language. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?